Yo everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about all the units that I think could personally EZA during the worldwide download celebration or the 350 million download celebration, depending on your preference really. This theme is going to be the Planet Namek saga for this year. Definitely a curveball, since usually it goes based off the theme of the Dokkan Fist before it, but obviously Super Vegeta has nothing to do with Namek. Now we do already have 5 confirmed EZAs, that being the Ginyu Force members, but personally I think there could be a bit more, and hoping for a bit more. We can see some of the Frieza cards EZA, some Goku cards EZA, and definitely one of the big talks I hear going around is the transforming Goku and Frieza could both EZA as well. And I just took all that basically and just gave a lot of these units EZAs of my own, seeing what they could do and what possibly could come in the future. So without further ado, let's get started with the first Ginyu Force member. That is going to be Barda here. Now for a lot of the leader skills, I just gave them the generic 3 key and 50% of stats to their typings. So for Barda, that's going to be for AGL units. It's just something fodder, that way they could have some free-to-play leader skill. Obviously there's going to be better ones though. Alright, so for Barda's super attack, he's now going to raise both attack and defense and still cause supreme damage to enemy. For his passive, he's now going to have 100% to attack and defense plus 20% per key speed obtained, a great chance to evade enemy attack in slot 1, and a high chance to evade enemy attack as a 3rd slot attack unit. Basically with this unit, I just wanted to make him a bit more viable, since because of his design, he's not going to be able to dodge in slot 1 until he attacks, and really that just kind of kills the ability for the unit. So I just gave him a high chance to dodge also in slot 3, so to give him more viability and still make him a good unit, even if you're not going to run him in slot 1. But if you do, he's going to be excellent at dodging, that is after he attacks. Next unit we got here is Goldo. For his super attack, he's going to cause supreme damage with now a high chance to stun, and now he's also going to lower enemy attack. For his passive, he's going to get a flat boost of attack and defense 120%, and he's going to lower attacked enemies' attack and defense for 2 turns as opposed to 1 turn before. Oh no, it was 2 turns. Now basically for this unit, I just wanted to make him a debuffer. He's going to make sure the enemies stay locked down and not hit you up so hard. And this could be useful in things like Super Battle World and Extreme Super Battle World especially, where lowering the enemy's attack is really important, and giving them a better chance to stun is also going to help out too. Next up here we have Captain Ginyu himself. For his super attack, he's now going to greatly raise his attack and cause supreme damage. For his passive, he's going to have Ki plus 3 and attack and defense 100%. He's going to have an additional attack and defense plus 40% when he's only facing one enemy. He's going to have 30% damage reduction and an additional 40% damage reduction when he's going up against 2 or more enemies. Now, Ginyu's original design of getting the percentage boost when facing one enemy and then the damage reduction when facing more, I liked it a lot, but it felt like it made him a little wonky when in Super Battle World, once you lowered down to that last enemy, all of a sudden he's getting hit like a truck. So I just decided to give him stats and damage reduction just normally, and then depending on the situation, he'd get more attack and defense, or he'd get more damage reduction. Next up here, we have his Jace. For his super attack, he's going to cause supreme damage and raise allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. And for his passive, he's going to have attack 130%, defense 100%, and then he's going to give extreme class allies 3 key and 40% to attack. he's now also going to have a medium chance to perform a crit, and he foresees enemy super attacks. Now for Jace, basically I just wanted to make him a super hard hitter. I mean, after he supers, he's going to be giving allies 70% attack, along with this 130% chance. He's now going to have a 200% attack buff, and that's just going to make him just a force to be reckoned with. And because he doesn't have any extra defense outside the 100%, it's really going to be important for him that you keep him out of super attacks, which is what the foresee enemy super attacks does. Helps him out, make sure you don't get caught. Now for Raccoon here, I basically took that idea and flipped it. So instead of attack, he's just going to be a defensive wall. So for his super attack, it's going to cause supreme damage to enemy, greatly lowers defense, and he will now also raise his own defense by 30% for 3 turns. For his passive, he's going to have attack 100% and defense plus 150%. His attack and defense will get, again, an additional 20% with each attack received, and that can go up to a max of 100%. Like I said, I wanted to make this guy a bit more defensive, make him a real juggernaut to be dealt with. And once he's fully built up, he's going to have 200% attack and 250% attack defense, along with 60% from his super attack if you got him on rotation. This is just going to make him just an unblockable wall. He's going to hit really hard, and I think he'll turn out pretty good. Now those are just the confirmed EZAs. I'm also going to be giving EZAs to both the 2 LR Ginyu Force squad cards. Just because mostly I feel like we can see them EZA, especially the Tech Ginyu Goku, which we're going to talk about right now. So for his leader skill, he's going to give 3 ki and 120% to stats to all Ginyu Force allies. Now for his leader skill, I could have given him 150% to stats, but I felt like 120 was a bit more reasonable, mostly because I didn't want to have him jump from 100% to 150, but I could see an argument for him to be 150 to all stats, mostly because he is the only Ginyu Force leader. But that could change. Part 2 LR could be a Ginyu card, but nothing's confirmed yet, so for all we know, it's going to be another 2-3 years until we get a Ginyu Force leader. Anyway, enough blabbering. For his super attack, he's going to greatly raise his attack, raise defense for 1 turn, and cause colossal damage to enemy. So that is greatly raising attack for 1 turn, and just raising defense for 1 turn as well. For his ultra super attack, he's going to cause mega colossal damage to enemies, and raise extreme class allies attack by 30% for now 2 turns. So he's not only buffing the same rotation he's on, but the next one as well. For his passive, he's going to have attack and defense 120%, an additional 7% attack and defense for Ginyu Force members on the team, and that goes up to a max of 35%. He's going to give extreme class allies 2 ki, and attack and defense 30%, and all Ginyu Force category allies 2 ki and attack and defense 30%. So for this card, the main idea was basically just buffing the Ginyu Force category team. Since he is the leader of it, you're obviously going to be using them with him. So I feel like giving him more attack and defense the more members you got on him, which you most likely would, and just him giving 2 ki and 30% attack and defense specifically to Ginyu Force category allies, I think that'll make him a real good card and a great leader to have for that team. Now we're also going to be talking about the regular Ginyu squad that you can get from the Battlefield shop. His leader skill is going to be ki plus 3, attack and defense 77%. Obviously just all types leader. He's okay. For his super attack, he's going to both raise attack and defense for 1 turn and cause He's going to cause colossal damage to the enemy. For his Ultra Super, he's going to cause Mega Colossal damage and give allies a defensive 30% boost for 2 turns as well. For his passive, he's going to have attack and defense 120%, Key 3 and attack plus 40% for all extreme class allies. Excuse me, for all allies. And then an additional 1 key and attack and defense plus 40% for all Ginyu Force category allies. Now, for this Ginyu Force member, I tried not to make him too close to the Ginyu Goku card, but their kits are very similar, so it was a bit harder to differentiate them. I tried to make this guy a more defensive buffer, giving the defensive boost to Ginyu Force allies along with the super attack defensive buff he gives. And then I gave him 3 key and 40% for all allies. That way, if you're running him just on an extreme team with no other Ginyu Force members, he's going to be hitting pretty hard and giving everyone else a nice boost as well. But like I said, that's only the Ginyu Force cards. I'm also going to be talking about some of the Frieza cards that I think we could see EZA as well, including both STR and AGL not full power Frieza, final form Frieza, full power Frieza as well. I think they have a good shot of EZA-ing. Less so the full power Frieza, since he did come out a little recent, but they could, throw us a curveball. So, let's get into it. Alright, so the first card we're going to talk about is the STR Final Form Frieza. He came back during the worldwide download celebration, I believe 3 years ago now. So he definitely could get an EZA during the celebration. For his leader skill, he's going to be Extreme Type, STR, Key plus 3, and attack, HP and defense 120%. For his super attack, he's going to greatly raise attack for 1 turn. It causes supreme damage to the enemy with a high chance to perform a critical hit. And this is on super attack. For his passive, he's now going to have attack and defense 120%, an additional attack 100%, and 30% chance to perform a crit within the same turn after receiving an attack. So I didn't give him pretty much not too much additional stats when it came to him getting hit. In fact, it's like same boost, 100% attack. But because he is getting an EZA and getting higher stats, I think it's going to be a lot more substantial now. And he's also getting a 30% chance to crit on his passive and 50% chance to crit on his super, pretty much making him just a real hard hitter once he's hit. And I feel like that's what I'm pretty much going for, like a real counter unit that could just BAM! Destroy anything. For the AGL Final Form Frieza, he's going to be a Namek Saga category leader with 3 key, 130% to stats, and he's also going to give AGL types Key 3 and 120% to stats. For his super attack, he's going to cause supreme damage to all enemies with a high chance of stealing super attack and a medium chance to stun the attacked enemies. For his passive, he's going to have attack and defense plus 120%, attack plus 70%, and a great chance to stun the attacked enemy when facing only one enemy. He's also going to have Key plus 5 and attack and defense plus 70% when facing 2 or more enemies. So basically for this Frieza, I wanted to make him a real nice super battle killer, dude. I gave him high chance to seal all enemies and a medium chance to stun on super attack. So if you're going up against 5 enemies, there's a good shot that a lot of them are going to either be stunned, sealed, and when he's going up against multiple enemies, he's going to have just a lot more attack and defense to help him tank a little better, deal a bit more damage, and he's going to help close off the fights with this great chance to stun the attacked enemy. Now this one, like I said, is going to be a little more hopeful, but this is Full Power Frieza, the LR. So for his leader skill, he's going to have 4 ki and attack and defense and HP 150 for full power. For extreme STR, he's going to give ki 4 and 120% to stats. For his super attack, he's going to cause colossal damage. No, sorry. He's going to cause mega colossal damage to enemy while sacrificing 5% of his HP, and he's going to have a medium chance to perform a crit. For its ultra super attack, he's going to greatly raise his attack for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage to enemy. So that pretty much remains unchanged, his ultra super attack, just because I feel like it didn't need to be changed from what it was. But for his regular super attack, I did give him that 30% chance to crit, just to make it a bit more useful since you are sacrificing HP. But now for his passive, he's going to give ki plus 5 and attack and defense 100%. The start of turn, he's going to have an additional 1 ki and attack and defense 20% when HP is 90% or less. He's going to have an additional 2 ki and attack plus 20% when HP is 80% or less. He's going to have another 2 ki and attack 20% when HP is 70% or less. And he's going to perform a critical hit and an additional ki 2 and attack 20% when HP is 50% or less. So basically, just to make this card better, I just raised his limitations a bit. That way, it's a lot easier to activate, because before, in order to get that guaranteed crit at the end, he had to be below 30% HP, which is pretty hard considering how this guy wouldn't get a lot of his buffs until he got real low health, and by that point, you're already going to die. So I decided to help him reach those buffs a little better, so he's going to be hitting real hard once you go below 50%, which in full power super battle road, extreme super battle road, that's not going to be hard at all. In fact, it'll be quite often when you get below 50%. But this is a bit of a hopeful EZA, but it could still happen. Next up, we're going to talk about some Goku cards that I think could get EZAs. Alright, the first Goku card we're going to be talking about is the physical Kaioken Goku. He came out along with the Frieza about 3 years ago, I think. So, he also could be due for an EZA. Well, he is due for one, but we could see it happen in this celebration. So, for his leader skill, it's going to be Super Physical types ki 3 and 120% to stats. For his super attack, he's going to greatly raise his attack for 3 turns and causes supreme damage to enemy. And for his passive, he's going to be attack and defense 120%, plus an additional attack and defense 30%, with each attack received up to a max of 150%. Basically, for this card, I wanted him to hit pretty hard while also maintaining a good defensive boost. So that's why I gave him the greatly raised attack for 3 turns, because units that typically can do that can hit pretty hard. Think of like Blue Gogeta, how much of a boost he'll get after he comes back on rotation. And I gave him up to 150 boost with each attack received, so that'd be 5 attacks to max him out. And at that point, he's going to have 270% to both attack and defense. And with EZA stats, boy, would he be looking pretty good. Next up, another Goku card is actually one that people have been requesting a little bit. This is the STR Super Saiyan Goku. You know, the one doing that angry power-up thing. You know, you guys know the moment. The one where he's just like, don't talk about Krillin that way. That's a terrible impression, but you guys know what I mean, that Goku. So for his leader skill, it's going to be Fodder, AGL, Attack, and STR types ki 3, 77% to stats. Could be good for new players, but there are better options, especially nowadays with the amount of options. So, for his super attack, he's going to greatly raise attack for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to enemy with a high chance to perform a critical hit. For his passive, he's going to have attack and defense 150%, an additional attack plus 40% when receiving a hit in the same turn, an additional attack 40% when facing only one enemy, performs a critical hit when facing a Wicked Bloodline category enemy, and then survives KO attacks when HP is 40% or above. Now I'm not sure if many of y'all know this, but that survive KO ability, it depends on the situation. Like if you're gonna get supered and he's getting caught with type disadvantage, you're gonna be able to live through that. You're not gonna just get one-shotted blowed. But if you are getting attacked like 8 different times, then this ability is pretty useless. So it is a little limited, but it's a nice ability. Now, the main idea was going with this Goku was just make it that moment for when he killed Frieza. So I decided to give him a lot of attack buffs when in that situation. Once he received an attack, you know, when Frieza tried to hit him, when he's facing only one enemy, and he's going to crit when going against Wicked Bloodline category enemies. He's also just going to have a 50% chance to crit on SA, and he's greatly raising attack. So this dude is going to be pretty high numbers, especially since, let's see, maxed out he's going to have about 240 attack. That's going to be pretty wild, and he's going to greatly raise that. He can be pretty good if he's built purely on attack. Defensively, he is only getting that 150% boost at the start of turn, which it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on your perspective. This does mean that when new harder events come out, he is going to get caught. Now, this is something I'm a little hopeful for. Namek Goku, transforming one. We all want him to get an EZA, especially after Int UI Goku got his during the 6th year anniversary. So Namek Goku getting an EZA would help out so much, especially if these units are not going to be Planet Namek Saga leaders, which they most likely will, but in the smaller case that they aren't, this is all you got. So if they give an EZA to this guy, especially with his links, ooh, he's going to be so... So, for his leader skill, I decided to give him 150 to HP and attack and defense 170% for Planet Namek Saga and Super Saiyans. So this is just raising that HP from 130 to 150. Since units usually don't go to 180, I can't just give it all 10% like with you and UI Goku. For his super attack, in base form he's going to cause immense damage to enemy and raise allies' attack by 30% for 2 turns, as opposed to the one he did before. For his passive, he's now going to start out with attack and defense 130%, an additional attack and defense plus 59% after receiving an attack in the same turn, and he's going to get attack and defense 15% with each attack received, up to 59%, transformed when conditions are met. So for this guy, I just wanted him to, you know, how he was before, just start building up a lot of attack and defense once he's getting hit, and he's going to be able to boost all the allies once he throws that Spirit Bomb down. And of course, the real prize of this unit is him getting transformed. Now, I didn't change his conditions, mostly because the only transformation unit we've seen get an EZA was Int UI Goku's. His didn't change. If I were to change his transformation, it would be similar to Bardock's. Like if there's a Wicked Bloodline enemy, transform immediately. I think that's going to make this card really good. But for the most part, I don't foresee them changing the transformation conditions. But once he's transformed at last, he's going to greatly stack attack and just regularly stack defense, cause immense damage to enemy. For his passive, he's going to have attack and defense 150%, attack and defense plus 59% for the rest of battle after receiving an attack, a high chance of guarding all attacks, same as before, and then guard activated against all attacks, and high chance of performing a critical hit for 5 turns once guard is activated. So the main problem people had with Super Saiyan Goku is because his guard was a medium percent chance, his chance to guard all attacks and get a crit for 3 turns is pretty useless. But raising that chance to now a high chance and making it last for 5 turns, Super Saiyan Goku is gonna be, if he's built like this, he could be, I think, the best TUI in the game. Now, and this is obviously my own EZA thing, these units are definitely not going to be the same no matter what, no matter how hard I try to predict, so, you know, keep that in mind. Also, none of these cards are made with the idea of balancing in them. This is just for fun. But for his rage conditions, same thing. I don't think they'll change it, but if they did, just when attack can be activated when the HP is 50% or less after the 3rd turn. Waiting until turn 5 it's just not fun, and it makes this thing really just useless when you can get it. So making it matter more in things like Super Battle Mode, like say you transform, turn 3, you're still below like 50% health, bam, activate the Rage mode, and that's going to give you a little more breathing room. So for his Rage mode, his super attack is going to be the exact same, no changes to that, but his passive, he's now going to change key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, and he's going to get an additional attack 20% for each rainbow key sphere obtained. Now these rage mechanics, these giant forms, they don't usually go too hard, and this is the first time, if this guy gets an EZA that is, that a rage or giant mechanic could be EZA'd, as in like for a Dokkan contest. Tapion, he's a banner unit, I can't really think of anyone else. But I didn't want to change it too much, is the point I'm trying to make here. Now, the real meat and potatoes. What people are hoping to see, pleading, the units that have plagued every banner. The one that most free-to-play players got rainbowed. Transforming Super Saiyan Goku and transforming Tech Frieza. Let's see how they are EZA'd. Alright, so the first card we're going to talk about is going to be Tech transforming Frieza. For his leader skill, I just gave him 3 key, HP attack and defense 130%. For his super attack, all the way before he turns golden, it's now going to be greatly stacks attack and just stacks defense, causes immense damage to enemy. And then for his golden form, he's now just going to stack attack and defense and cause immense damage to enemy with a great chance to stun. So, before, a lot of the problems people had with this unit is that they stopped stacking, both Goku and Frieza. They stopped stacking after they were fully built up. So like, you could take them into longer vans, but for the most part, it'd be way easier just to bring the SSI versions, which stacks infinitely. But because now I feel like they'll have like a boost of power transforming, and then once they're fully built up, they can still build up, just not as much. I think that's going to make them work a bit better. So, there's many passives. First form Frieza is going to have attack and defense 120% and recovers 16 HP at the start of the turn. And pretty much the trend here is going to be, it's going to get more attack and not as much defense, as opposed to before where you'd be trading off defense for attack. Attack is just going to go up way faster than defense is. Example, second form, attack 130% and defense 125%, 17 HP at the start of turn. For form 3, attack 140% and defense 130%, recovers 18 HP at the start of turn. Now you guys can see the pattern I'm going here for. Final form, attack 50% and defense 135%, recovers 19 HP at the start of turn. And then for his final form, once he's fully built up, he's now going to have attack 160%, defense 140%, recovers 20 HP at the start of turn, key 12 and performs a critical hit once only, and then he's going to have a high chance to perform a critical hit just flat out. So for this unit, pretty much I just wanted Frieza to be focused mainly on attack and not as much defense, which is why he greatly stacks attack, and his attack is just going to get a way bigger boost once he's golden. I also gave him a high chance to perform a critical hit, flat out. That way, because, okay, these cards are taken, pretty much the golden and blue forms are taken from the right after Frieza's revived and Goku and him have a little skirmish before the tournament of power. You know, that's where they were. And those blows are pretty heavy, you know, one of the heaviest in the arc. You can see the animation is completely changed. You can really feel the force of those two impacts colliding. So, I decided to give him a high chance to perform a crit to really emphasize that. Now for Goku, since these cards are pretty similar, I decided just to take the idea I had before and flip it. So Goku's gonna have a super class allies at 130 to stats, key 3, for his leader skill, and for his super attack, all his transformations before blue, they're now gonna greatly stack defense and raise attack while causing immense damage to enemy. And once he's blue, he's gonna raise attack and defense, causes immense damage to enemy with a great chance to stun. So I bet you guys can see the pattern I'm gonna go with here. Attack and defense 120%, reduces damage received by 26% in his Super Saiyan form. Super Saiyan 2 is going to have attack 125% plus defense 130%, reduces damage received by 27%. Super Saiyan 3 attack 130% and defense 140%, reduces damage received by 28%. And Super Saiyan God attack 135% plus defense 150, reduces damage received by 29%. And then blue, pretty much the same as Frieza's, but flipped. Attack 140% and defense 160%, reduces damage received by 30%. Key plus 12 and performs a critical hit for once only. And then high chance to perform a critical hit. This Goku is mainly a defensive wall once he gets to blue in long events. He could even be helpful in the GT Goku event. He does have type disadvantage and that Goku does lower defense. But because of the damage reduction, I think he could be pretty good if he gets an EZA. Especially if they do more with him. Because I just increased the numbers and got rid of the debuffs. If they can like give him more ki, like, because in Super Saiyan 3 and at times in his God and Blue form, it's hard for him to super attack, mainly because his links change from prepared for battle to over in a flash. So it is a little hard for Goku to super attack, so I think if they gave him a bit of ki, that could work. I didn't give him ki mostly because I was focusing on just the defensive capability of Goku, his greatly stacking defense on all his forms, and his damage reduction getting up to 30%. And his defense getting to 160%. Obviously, same thing for Frieza, but attack. Like, I just wanted to have these two units separated, but similar. And with that, that's all the EZAs I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me down in the comments, which EZAs would you want? Which, if you have any different ideas than the one I shared, leave them down below. Keep in mind, most of these units probably aren't going to EZA. A lot of these are very hopeful. Like even the transforming Goku and Frieza is pushing the limits. But you know, it's things like Namek Goku and then Full Power Frieza, which came out after him. Those are really pushing the limits of what could come. But the Ginyu Force members are for sure EZAing. The LRs, they have a good chance. And I say all units that came out during the 30th anniversary have a relatively good chance, but the Namek Goku, Full Power Frieza, and Final Form Frieza, the AGL one, they are pushing it a bit. But Namek is such not a good category. A lot of the free-to-play units already have EZAs. Pretty much all the units I talked about today are just units that don't have EZAs on the Namek Saga team. So hopefully this team can get really buffed. If it's anything like the 6-year anniversary where we just have a bunch of cards, like timeless cards that get added to it, I think that would help a lot. It's currently the 23rd right now, so we should be getting EZA information 3 days from now. Now with that, I'll actually see you guys later next time. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.